thank you for tuning in to my little webinar here, or recording. I'm Malcolm Upton with ActionCOACH Business Coaching, and this is a walkthrough of the 5 ways for your business. For the next few minutes, what I'm going to do is walk you through the 5 ways as it applies to your particular business and kind of help you tease out those numbers so you can see what the impact is using your numbers instead of someone else's. I hope you've already watched Brad Sugar's video where he talks about the 5 ways. It's only a little more than 8 minutes, and it's a very important 8 minutes to keep in mind. When we're finished with this, I'll be making an offer of how you can take advantage of actually capturing this information for yourself. First of all, let's start talking through the 5 ways for your business. Now, get out the 5-way sheet that you've printed out, or if you're using the smartphone application or the website, you can do that as well. And let's start with a number that you probably have or can easily get a hold of, and that's customers. The number of customers that you have right here. If you don't know this number off the top of your head, first of all, you should, because this is one of the critical gauges for your business. This tells you how fast you're going, how fast your profits are going. So you should have some way in place, if you don't already, for measuring the number of unique customers you have in your business. If you need to, go ahead and pause right here and look this up and get a good idea, the best estimate you can of what this number is. If you have to guess, go ahead, but if you guess, try to guess conservatively, a realistic but maybe a little on the low side for your customers. Let's say, just for an example, that you have 1,000, last year you had 1,000 unique individuals or businesses or other organizations that bought from you, but 1,000 unique customers. Go ahead and fill in on your sheet the specific number for your business here. Now, the next piece, the next number that we want to get is the number of leads. Now, let me tell you what the definition of a lead is. A lead is someone who has contacted your business with the intent of perhaps buying. Now, what this might look like is this might be someone who looks you up on the internet and goes to your website. It might be someone who sends you a contact email. It might be someone who gives you a call and calls your business. It might be someone who's walking by your place of business and stops or slows down to look in the window. It might be someone who actually walks into your business. Any sort of thing, any time that a person takes some sort of action to contact your business with the idea of finding out for themselves if they want to buy from you, that's a lead. So this is another number that you should have a system in place to capture with as much accuracy as you can, okay, without spending too much money. But you should have some idea of how many leads you had last year. If you don't know, go ahead and take a good guess. But the number of leads is going to be something more than the number of customers, because everyone that contacts you doesn't buy. Everyone that visits your website doesn't end up becoming a customer. Everyone that calls you doesn't end up buying from you. In this example, we're going to have 4,000 leads, which for 1,000 customers is a pretty good rate. So 4,000 leads and 1,000 customers. Now we come to the conversion rate. The conversion rate, very simply, is out of every 100 leads, how many of them become customers? All you have to do is take the number of customers and divide it by the number of leads. And that will give you a number less than 100. If you multiply that number times 100, then you get a percentage. So in this case, 1,000 divided by 4,000 is 0.25. When you multiply it by 100, we get 25%. Number of customers, whatever that is for your business, and get the calculator, 1,000 divided by 4,000 times 100 is the percentage for your conversion rate. So 25%. Most of the time we overestimate conversion rate and we underestimate leads. This is actually not a bad conversion rate. The next piece that we need to look at is the number of transactions, the average dollar sale, and the revenues. Now, revenues is another one of those gauge numbers. It's not a lever for accelerating your profits. It is a gauge for telling you how well you're doing. So revenues is another one of those numbers that you should have on your dashboard all the time. This one usually is something that businesses are pretty good at having. If you don't know what your revenues are because they're mixed up, say, with your spouse's salary or the income from your real estate investments or something, that's something that needs to be parceled out. Not necessarily for tax purposes, but for your own information purposes. You need to know what is the revenue from my business. If you need to, go ahead and pause right here to find out what your revenues were for the past year. For our particular example, we have revenues of $200,000. So $200,000 last year from 1,000 customers. The next step is to figure out what the number of transactions and what the average dollar sale is. For some of you, this should be fairly easy. All you have to do is go back to your cash register system and query, what was the average dollar sale? Or you maybe have some other bookkeeping or accounting system that can give you this average dollar sale. It might also give you the number of transactions, or it may instead give you the number of transactions. Either way, these are things that one or both of these are something that your bookkeeping system should be able to give you. If you have to, go ahead again and make the best guess you can. This may require getting these numbers correct or close to correct, may require some fiddling around a little bit. If that's the case, go ahead and do it, especially if you have the smartphone app or are working on the website. You can go ahead and plug numbers in until they look right, and they're giving you the revenue value from the number of customers that you expect. For our particular business, for our example, we're going to have an average of 2 transactions per year. Now, that doesn't mean that every single one of these 1,000 customers bought twice. What that means is that we had 2,000 transactions last year. Now, we may have one customer that bought from us every single week, and another 50 that only bought from us once. But because we had 2,000 transactions and 1,000 customers, on average, each customer bought from us 2 times. Average dollar sale is somewhat similar. We had 2,000 transactions and we ended up with $200,000. So each one of those transactions, on average, was $100. 200,000 divided by the 2,000 transactions gives us $100. We could have also done it the other way. We go to our accounting system when we find out that the average dollar sale is $100. Since we have $200,000 in revenue, 200,000 divided by 100 means that we had 2,000 transactions. Since we had 2,000 transactions and 1,000 customers, 2,000 divided by 1,000 is 2, or an average of 2 transactions per customer. Whatever you need to do in order to get these numbers for your business is what we want to do at this point. Now, the last pieces are margins and profits, or the bottom line. This is what we're trying to accelerate with this, accelerating our profits. This one definitely you need to have a good handle on. What are your profits outside of other sources of income? Profits include any money that you pay yourself. So if you've got a corporation and you pay yourself a salary, then your salary, the salary that you actually draw, is part of the profits. We're not talking IRS profits or the corporation's profits. We're talking about the actual amount of money that's left after you pay the bills. So for our example, our profits are $50,000. Now again, in order to get the margin, and this is lumping a lot of things together, understood. So our margins, in this case, are the 50,000 divided by 200,000. If you go ahead and get the calculator and put 50,000 divided by 200,000, or whatever your numbers are, then you should get, again, a percentage. In this case, 25%. So go ahead and figure these out for your particular business. All right. The next piece is to really look into what is the potential if I work on all 5 of the levers simultaneously.